Okay, welcome everybody to the January 2026 TDL Member Forum. I'm Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of TDL, and I'm so happy to see all of you. Happy New Year, and welcome to this new year with TDL. As we gather today, we're going to start as we have done for quite a while now by acknowledging the physical places from which we're joining, all located on the indigenous lands of Turtle Island, the ancestral name for what is now called North America. I'm joining from Austin, where the Tonkawa were among the traditional stewards of the land before their removal. And I invite you to share your own land acknowledgements in chat if you would like to. We will follow our usual agenda today, and Courtney Muma is here. She'll be giving some updates. Kiara Hunt, our communications and outreach coordinator, will provide some updates, and we have several other TDL staff in attendance today. Welcome to them. We're also joined by a guest speaker, Michelle McCrary from Sam Houston State University, who's the chair of our OJS users groups and has some information to share from the OJS users group. So thank you, Michelle, for being here. All right, so first off, I want to give you a heads up of something we're going to try out over the next several months and invite you to participate. Starting with our February forum, so starting next month, Courtney and I are going to be hanging out for half an hour after the conclusion of the TDL member forum for what we're calling director's office hours. And this is simply going to be an informal opportunity to hang out with us, to ask any questions you might have, to provide feedback to us. Whatever you want to do and however you want to use it, we just want to make ourselves available to you all. So, as I said, we're going to try this out for 3 months in February, March, and April. And there'll be these office hours or office half hours will take place immediately following the member forum. So from 11 to 11:30 a.m. on the days of the forums. We'll be sending out more information to our members' email list, and we'll add it to the events on the website. So be on the lookout for that, and we hope you'll join us if you'd like to. Second, I want to invite your feedback through a survey that we're going to be sending out later this week, also to that members' email list. This open source engagement survey is an effort from us to understand how and whether our members are directly engaging with the open source and community-based software projects that TDL partners with, namely DSpace, Dataverse, Stereo, and OJS, but others as well. We want to know about your library and how you as an individual are engaging with these software projects, whether that's through TDL services and user groups or more directly with code contributions, community activities, documentation, and financial support for these communities. So we'll share a link to the survey in chat, but we'll also be sending that out via email very soon. And I just want to say, I encourage you to complete the survey whether or not you are deeply engaged with this kind of thing. We are really trying to get a baseline understanding so that we can use it to develop and assess programming related to open source activities as part of our strategic plan. So even if the answer is, I don't do anything with open source, we need to know that, and we really want to hear from you through the survey. Okay, so next up, we'll move into our services and projects update, starting with digital repositories and DSpace. I think the big news here is that Nick Woodward is currently working to upgrade all of our hosted repositories to version 8.3. This is a minor upgrade with minimal downtime, about 2 minutes of downtime, minimal disruption. This is a little bit of an unscheduled upgrade or a quickly scheduled upgrade. The primary reason for it is to address a security vulnerability that was identified last month in the Apache module that DSpace uses to extract text from PDF files. So as a temporary measure, you should have gotten a notification about this last month. As a temporary measure, TDL turned off PDF text extraction entirely to plug that hole. But that meant that any PDF items that have been deposited since mid-December haven't had text extraction run on them. And so they're not currently full text searchable. So we've scheduled this upgrade so that we can apply a patch that fully addresses the vulnerability, and so we can turn PDF text extraction back on. And then we're going to run a full reindex of the repository so that all items, including new ones, are full text searchable. That reindex is a process that occurs overnight on the day of the upgrade, so it won't be fully complete until the next day. But your repository will still be, up and running, and people can browse and download things. It may run a little bit slower while the reindex is taking place, but will otherwise be normal. So we'll put a link in chat to our wiki page that has more information about the upgrade process and timeline. We're notifying folks via help desk ticket on the day of your upgrade. But if you have any questions about this, happy to answer them in this meeting today, or if you want to get in touch via email. Okay, and related to our OJS journal hosting service, we're mostly going to be talking about some activities of the OJS users group, and Michelle McCrary is here to talk about some of those. Michelle is the head of digital initiatives at Sam Houston State University. She's currently the chair of the OJS users group, and I'll just put in a quick plug here that we are looking for a vice chair of the OJS users group. So if you're interested in participating in that way, please contact me or Michelle, and we'd love to talk to you about it. But without further ado, I will turn it over to Michelle to talk about some of the exciting work and discussions that the OJS users group has coming up.
Thanks, Christy. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm Michelle McCurry, chair of OJS user group. This year, we're adding a more structured element to our meetings in the form of a discussion series called Open Access in Practice, which will take place every other month during our regular OJS user group meeting time, which is the next one coming up. It just said it was February 5th at 10 a.m. The purpose of this series is to establish a peer-driven, low-pressure space to address specific topics and questions that have kind of come up here and there in past meetings and other spaces, and provide a more focused time to more thoroughly discuss those topics and share what we're actually doing to support open access journal publishing. So like what's working, what's challenging, what we're still figuring out. This isn't meant to be a formal training session. It's a space to learn from each other's real world experiences. Next slide, please. So each session is going to focus on a different aspect of library support for journals. So you can see the scheduled topics here. And we're going to start, like I said, on February 5th and sharing what journal support looks like across institutions. So what services libraries currently provide, how responsibilities are defined, how we work with managers, editors, things of that nature. In June, kind of jumping ahead, we're hoping to be meeting at TCDL and talk about some policy development and templates and things that we can provide there. And then later sessions that are still in development are going to cover topics like DOI management, marketing promotion, communicating with inactive journals, and we'll have more info about those as we get closer to those. And again, these discussions will happen every other month during our regular OJS user group meeting time, so it'll be really easy to join in. But all of our meetings will continue to provide TDL updates as needed and have an open question period as well for other topics that need to be discussed. But the real value of the series is going to come from your participation, your stories, examples, documents, lessons that you've learned. So if you currently support open access journals or building or refining your journal services, or just want to learn how others are approaching this work, I encourage you to join us. The more perspectives we have, the more useful these conversations will be for everyone. And if there's a topic that you see on here that you feel particularly knowledgeable about and would like to speak on, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I hope to see some of you on February 5th. Thanks.
Thanks, Michelle. And yeah, just want to reiterate, I'm excited about this discussion series. I think it's going to be really, really good. And to make it extra good, we need everyone's participation. And so if you support library publishing at your institution or you're interested in library publishing, um, we invite you to attend. The OJS users group is open to all TDL members. So I think with that, I'm going to hand it over to Courtney to continue our service updates with some Vireo business.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. First, I'm going to start with Vireo hosting. In an effort to create more opportunities for our Vireo users to meet and discuss Vireo usage, the steering committee has arranged for an additional informal user group meeting next Monday, January 26th at 10 a.m. We'll provide a link to registration in the chat where you can not only register but also suggest a topic for discussion. So far, attendees have asked to discuss accessibility, embargoes, and metadata issues. All of the Vireo User Group Steering Committee members, TDL leadership, and the TDL lead developer for Vireo will be in attendance, and we really look forward to chatting with you, so I hope you can join. Now a digital preservation update. As you know, the Digital Preservation Services Transformation Task Force has been busy working, and we've just entered a new phase of work in which we are drafting our recommendations to the TDL boards. Once approved, these recommendations will be shared with the rest of TDL membership and will provide a rough map of TDL's digital preservation service transformation over the next 2 years. Additionally, the Peer-Assisted Audit and Assessment Program is launching with a new cohort made up of staff from SMU and Texas A&M University. Representatives from last year's cohort, UTSA and Sam Houston State University, will lead the efforts. So thanks to Daniela Flores and Michelle McCrary, who we just heard from, for stepping up to lead this year. You can view the timeline and the objectives for the work on the wiki link that we'll provide in chat. Now for a Texas Data Repository update. Busy here. TDL developers have launched the user testing phase of the COAR Core Notify project, which sets up links between related Dataverse datasets and DSpace items. Based on feedback from users, the functionality will be adjusted before going into production on our TDL systems. Development testing also continues on the larger data service project with the goal of having the service defined in 2026 and launched as soon as early 2027. Lead developer for the TDR, Frank Smutniak, will work closely with sysadmin Nick Lawlin from February through April on a major upgrade and infrastructure adjustment to the TDR. The work will include a shift to Amazon Linux 2023 to align with all other TDL systems, Ansible integrations to improve deployment, and service enhancements from the Harvard development team, as well as expanded external vocabularies, which is something the TDR steering committee has been asking for. Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. Next up, Kiara Hunt with our community updates.
Thanks, Courtney. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to share some of our community updates with you all. So first up, we are currently accepting proposals for the 2026 Texas Conference on Digital Libraries, or TCDL. As we've been promoting, our theme this year is Finding Joy, Playful Innovation, and Community in Action. The deadline to submit your proposal is February 2nd. And a special reminder for our TDL member groups, Please remember to submit a proposal for your business meetings if you plan to host them during the conference. And you can find all the details on our TCDL 2026 CFP page, and we'll include that link in the chat. Next, don't forget to nominate your colleagues or even yourself for a TDL award. We want to celebrate the incredible work being done across Texas in digital scholarship and preservation. Nominations are due by February 9th. Check out the categories, and you can submit your nominations through the TDL awards page, and we will include that in the chat. Okay, hot off the press. Next, we are thrilled to announce our 2026 keynote speakers for TCDL, Jesse Contour and Kelsey Gray from the School of Design and Creative Technologies at UT Austin. Their session, Eliminating Drop Caps, the Magic of the Collaborative Process, will dive into the magic of the collaborative process, perfectly matching our theme of the playful innovation that we have for TCDL. You can read more about Jesse and Kelsey on the TDL blog, and we'll have that link for you in chat. We just announced the keynote speakers this morning. Next up, we have secured special room rates at 2 nearby hotels for the TCDL conference in Austin in the Domain area. The Hampton Inn has a king study for $119 or 2 queen beds for $129 with a booking deadline of May 12th. The Fairfield Inn and Suites offers a king suite for $120 a night with a booking deadline of June 1st. Both hotels offer great amenities like free hot breakfast and waived parking fees. And to get these rates, please use the specific booking links that we have provided on our website, which we are sharing in the chat now, or you can call the hotels directly and ask for the Texas Digital Library group block. We'll be posting the registration rates on the TDL website soon, and we'll send out an announcement once the registration opens. Next, sharing on behalf of the TDL GIS Interest Group, the first GIS Interest Group meeting is happening this coming Friday on January 23rd at 2 p.m. Central Time. Whether you work directly with GIS, support faculty and students who do, or you're just curious about the field, we'd love to have you join us. We'll be sharing projects, setting our goals for 2026, and even playing a bit of GIS trivia. If you want to learn more, we'll have that Zoom link in the chat, as well as the wiki page for the GIS group and the subscription link to subscribe to their listserv. Next, also sharing on behalf of the TDL Harmful Content and Description Interest Group, the HCD Interest Group has announced its 2026 quarterly schedule. This group provides a vital venue for developing best practices around inclusive and reparative metadata. Their first meeting of the year will be Tuesday, March 3rd at 2 p.m. To maintain a secure environment, the Zoom link is only shared via listserv. So we'll have that link for you all to subscribe in the chat so that you can learn more about the group. Next, following up on our relaunch announcement from November, I want to share a quick reminder that the Web Archiving Texas Interest Group is officially kicking off its 2026 meeting schedule this month. The first meeting of the year is next week, Wednesday, January 28th from 2 to 3 p.m. Central Time. The Web Archiving Texas Interest Group aims to build a community around web archiving in the region to share resources, skills, and knowledge. If you are seeking a network of colleagues with whom to share your web archiving successes, challenges, and questions, please consider joining the group. We will share the link to the group's wiki and chat so that you can get involved. And we also have the link to the TDL community workspace in Slack so you all can join the Web Archiving Texas Interest Group Slack channel. So more details for you all will be in chat. Next, there are several great community events coming up. First up is Day-to-Day Texas plus AI 2026 returns to Austin this weekend from January 24th to 25th, focusing on career resilience and the latest in generative AI and data science. Next, ICPSR, or the Institute for Social Research at the University of Michigan, is hosting their data fair during Love Data Week from February 9th to the 13th. The Digital Learning Summit is also happening February 10th and 11th. It's virtual and free of charge to be sure to register for that. And then further out, the ERNL Fest and Open Education Week are both happening in early March. And we'll have links to all of these events in the chat for you all so you can learn more about registration and things like that. Next up, here are more upcoming meetings and events happening at TDL. These meetings and events are free and open to anyone, and you're always welcome to invite your campus partners and non-TDL member colleagues in your network to join us. In the interest of time, we will share the link to the TDL events calendar in the chat for all the upcoming meetings happening in January and February, leading up to our next forum meeting and the rest of the year. So we'll have the TDL events calendar for you all in the chat. Next up, you can check out the latest TDL announcements for upcoming meetings, events, and programs on our social media channels and in our bi-monthly email newsletter and our announcement listserv. We'll share the link to our Get Involved page in the chat where you can connect with TDL, and it has the links to all of our social media and listservs for you all. Next up, we want to help share the amazing work happening at your institutions, whether it's for the bi-monthly newsletter, as I just mentioned, or the TDL blog, or on social media channels. Please use our content idea submission form to send your updates. We're happy to amplify your posts on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. Use the TDL content idea submission form to get started, and we'll have that in chat. And I think that's all for our community updates. Back over to you, Christy.
All right. Thank you, Kiera and Courtney, and special thank you to Michelle for being here today and sharing a little bit about what the OJS Users Group is up to. We do have a little bit of time left in our half hour. If anybody has questions, you can feel free to add those to chat, or if you want to raise your hand in Zoom, we can call on you and you can ask your question. And while you're getting those questions ready, I'll just remind you about our anonymous suggestion box, which is basically a Google form that you can use to ask a question or provide feedback anonymously. And we can try to address any questions or concerns in the appropriate forum. All right, I'm not seeing any hands raised. Checking Slack or checking chat. Okay. Well, if there aren't any questions, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you all for being here today and for being partners with TDL. We're really excited to spend the next year working with you, and hope you'll get in contact with us if you have any questions or concerns. We've got a lot going on, and we're grateful to you for your partnership and making it all happen. So everybody take care. Have a good rest of the month, and we'll see you at the next meeting.